Welcome to this short midweek update from Patty and Steve.
Steve, everyone can see that we're recording this update in the new building and everything looks more or less finished. What is the position now?
Well, it's looking great, isn't it, Patty? But there's still a few items to get finished, and one of the main ones being the lighting in the main worship area. We mentioned that in the BFM update that went out before Easter. The manufacturers have now agreed the remedial wiring needs, and the electrical contractors have now scheduled that work to take place on starting Monday the 19th of April. And we reckon it's going to take around 7 to 10 days to complete.
My impression looking round is that it all looks very finished from the point of view of walls and carpets and so on, but the rooms are looking quite empty. How come? Is there still a lot of work to be done?
Well, everything's now been returned from storage and the container emptied at 5A Greenfield Road, and it's all been packed away. One of the reasons why everywhere looks so neat and tidy is because of the amazing storage areas that we have, plus we have this purpose-built store on the side of the worship area. Also, we've got significantly more space to spread our stuff around, so that's why it looks quite empty at the moment. We're still waiting for some furniture to be delivered, which includes new chairs for the main worship areas. So hopefully for those of you who found the old ones a bit uncomfortable, you'll enjoy the new ones, and also new communion furniture. We've also got things to do like sorting out our display boards and how we visually present ourselves inside the building when normal life in the church resumes. So we've earmarked some money to buy stuff later on when we really know exactly what we need. But in the meantime, we're busy rewriting policy for completing fire risk assessments, health and safety assessments, and continuing to fit out the building with everything that we will need again when the doors open.
Doors open, that sounds very exciting. When do you think this is going to be possible?
Yeah, I know everybody's really keen to have a good look round. Leonard's going to give much more detail about the roadmap and the vision going forward at the APCM on Wednesday the 28th of April, which is actually a fortnight today, so please make sure you tune in then. However, we expect to be holding services with congregations starting at some point during May. Clearly there'll be a lot of careful planning to ensure that we remain COVID compliant and that everything's conducted in a safe way. And also, at the same time, we'll need to deliver services to the majority of people who won't be able to attend and will still be in their own home. We've got some really nice new fancy equipment in the gallery, and we've got fixed cameras in the worship area, which we're still learning how to use. A few people have mentioned the idea that we should relay whatever is going on in the main worship area into every room in the building. That way, at least, we could all be together under one roof. And although, technically speaking, this is feasible, we don't really think it's in keeping with the spirit of the guidelines, and it would be quite tricky and time-consuming marshalling between 300 and 400 people in and out of the building. And can you imagine everybody at St John's when they're back together for the first time having to go out one by one and not talk to one another? I think it would be quite a challenge.
Yeah, indeed it would. Everybody is desperately keen to come and have a proper look round, so quite apart from just coming for services. When do you think this is going to be possible?
Well, we'd hope to be able to arrange for people to visit in their small groups or other groups, but current guidance is that we can only conduct public worship or be open for quiet prayer. So sadly, small group visits around the building are not currently possible. We know people are really keen to come and have a look around, and we're going to do this as soon as we are able and it is safe to do so. Most of you will have seen some of the images that went out with the BFM update before Easter, but again, a plug for the APCM. If you tune into that, you will see a full video tour of the inside of the building. Just another reason to make sure you don't miss it. Now, Patty, I've done most of the talking so far. For what can we be doing in our small groups or within our own personal lives to prepare for the next period of time?
Yeah, good question. Well, the short answer is we need to be praying. But perhaps I can elaborate a little bit on that. As a leadership team, we've been aware that this is a very significant moment for us as a church. We're preparing to occupy our newly refurbished and partly rebuilt building, which we've been out of for 20 months. And due to the effects of the pandemic, we've also been unable to meet in person for over a year. It's been a long time of waiting and longing. Once we start worshipping together in our building and we see what an amazing resource we have, inevitably we're going to be asking, what does God want us to do with this building when the possibilities seem almost endless? We'd like to position ourselves, well, on our knees, at least metaphorically. Perhaps you'll recall that in the first Building for Mission Midweek Encouragement, we set out what we sensed the Holy Spirit had been saying to us. Firstly, that the Lord desires to do a new thing in and through St. John's. Secondly, that we're to give dedicated time as a leadership and as a community of God's people to wait on the Lord and to know his heart and the details of the new things he wants to do in and through us. And thirdly, that we're to create more space for the Holy Spirit's leading, ministry and gifts in our lives, in our leadership and in our body life together. And this will be a key way for us to engage with God's heart and purposes. And then when we're meeting together in our small groups, and when we're praying on our own at home, let's commit to making time to pray. Firstly, that God by his Spirit will be preparing our hearts and minds to be seeking him above all else, to be deepening our connection with God who is the source of our power, as we were being reminded by Leonard and Diana on Sunday. And as we think about reoccupying our building, let's be praying blessing on every room. Blessing on the rooms, on the people and the activities and the ministries that it represents. In the first Building for Mission Encouragement back in January, this is what we set out then as a way for every member of the church community to do this. Firstly, by giving thanks privately for God's timing, provision and goodness. And secondly, to inquire of God, what blessing would you like me to bring that I could declare in the building? This is not asking the Lord about what activities specifically the building might be used for. It's about what is on the Lord's heart that will bless the physical space in whatever way the space may be used. And thirdly, when you have your escorted tour of the building, take a moment to quietly declare your blessing as the Lord directs you. Please also email the blessing to blessings@stjohnsharborne.org so that we can collect them together and keep them in mind to encourage us. And you could do this either before or after your visit around the building. Even though the visits are now going to be delayed, we sense that now is the time for us to be doing that and to explore together what the Lord is saying. You'll find a reminder of this on the resources page on the website. So whether it's in our small groups or individually, let's be praying and listening to God about the direction for our future life together as a church, as we desire to connect and build bridges into our community as salt and as light. And when all this has been weighed, we want to publish and make available all that the Lord has said about his purposes and priorities for our life together.
Well, Patty, that's a lot of information and really important and something for us all to take heart. As you said, it's everybody's responsibility. Again, just to remind you, the APCM this fortnight today, Wednesday the 28th of April. But ahead of that, please be praying about who may serve on the PCC and the Deanery Synod. These structures are very important to our own governors at St John's, for Church of England Birmingham, and also for the Church of England nationally. So please pray, and also ask God if he might be calling you to serve in one of these important roles. You'll find more information about this on our website. So please make sure that you make the APCM a priority, Wednesday the 28th of April, 7:30, and you should be able to sign up online or via your email that you would receive from the weekly roundup.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Patty.